Welcome back to my series giving the top 5 best offseason moves from each NFL team. In this one, we have the Seattle Seahawks. At 5 for the Seahawks, I have wide receiver Laviska Shenault. While this isn't a big name signing by any means, Shenault has showed some progress bouncing around from different teams over the past few years. He just hasn't had enough playing time to really make a big impact. With the Seahawks wide receiver room just getting older, I feel like he could be a good piece in case one of the guys like Lockett or Metcalf go down. At 4, I have linebacker Jerome Baker. Baker was really solid for the Dolphins last year, and the Seahawks could really use some inside linebacker help. Overall, their front seven just needs to get a lot better for next season, and I think Jerome Baker's a great piece for that. At 3, I have quarterback Sam Howell. Although he didn't have the best year in his first year starting last season, he was behind the worst O-line in the NFL, and he still showed a ton of promise, passing for a ton of yards on many different occasions. If the Commanders didn't have such a high pick in the draft, he very well might still be their starting quarterback. And the Seahawks have a lot of questions as to will Geno Smith be their quarterback going forward. And worst case scenario, you have Sam Howell here, who you got on a really, really cheap deal that can go in and give you good games. At 2, I have re-signing Leonard Williams. The Seahawks traded for Leonard Williams midseason last year from the Giants, and they like what they saw in the back half of the season, so they re-signed him to a new deal. It's always good to see a team go and get a guy at the deadline and then lock him up for good after the season. But at 1, I have their first-round draft pick, Byron Murphy. Murphy was the best interior defensive lineman in the entire draft, and that's a big need for the Seahawks. This was one of my favorite picks of the whole draft because it's a huge fit for the Seahawks, and he's one of the better defensive players in the entire draft. Overall, I think the Seahawks had a good offseason, and I think they're going to be pretty good next year. Their only question is Geno Smith at quarterback, and if that goes wrong, you have Sam Howell to come in and maybe give you some good games. Comment what team I should do next.